we just saw the game of the year between the Ravens and the Bengals. I do not believe for a second we're going to see a more entertaining game with as many ups and downs, highs and lows, for the rest of the year. That was complete chaos for almost 5 quarters of football. So much to get into with this game. Completely just a ton. But before I get into that, welcome to Flock Talk, your home for all things Baltimore Ravens football. If you're new to this channel and you are a Ravens fan, this is the place to be. Like, subscribe, comment. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers by the end of the season. If everyone watching this could do that, I would genuinely appreciate it as we try to grow this platform. But enough of that. Let's get into this absolute classic of a game. My goodness. The storyline going into this game, for me, was can the Bengals rush defense, which had struggled through all 4 of their games up to this point, who ranked near last in the league in rush yards a game, stop the best rushing attack in the NFL, led by Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, in this powerhouse running game. And to be completely honest, they did a tremendous job until overtime. They held Derrick Henry in check. That was the biggest thing I thought going into this game they had to do, and they did that. And the first half for the Ravens was a bit sloppy and a little bit clanky on offense. The first drive of the game, it was like a hot knife going through butter, right down the field, and they scored. And I was feeling pretty good. I was thinking this looked good. This is what we kind of expected, or what I expected for this offense going against this defense, which has really been subpar up to this point. And then after that, it really became a game. There was definitely some throws in the first half that Lamar Jackson missed. But the turning point in the game, in my opinion, was when the Bengals got the safety, which special teams error not fielding that punt. Tremendous punt by whoever the Bengals punter is to pin them right back at their 1-yard line. So they get the safety. And to me, that's when the game turned on its head for the Ravens. All of a sudden, they could do absolutely jack diddly squat on defense. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins had a field day from there on out. It looked like the Bengals were playing a college defense. Okay, and so much credit to the Bengals for that. Like we know who Joe Burrow is. We know who Jamar Chase is. We know who T. Higgins. I talked about him in the preview going into this game, that those guys are absolute monsters. And I said the Ravens need to hold them in check, or it's going to be a long game. If you didn't have Lamar Jackson be Superman on the other side of the second half, this would not have even been remotely close of a game. The passing defense, and this could rub some fans the wrong way, because a win's a win. I get that. I'm thrilled they won. It was a tremendous game. Great effort by Lamar Jackson and the offense. The defense stepped up when they needed to at the end of the game. Marlon Humphrey with a clutch interception. Overtime, I get they made that stop, holding the field goal attempt 50-plus yards. I get all that. I'll buy all that. But this passing defense was atrocious. We do not let this win shadow that. This passing defense was absolutely awful from the mid-second quarter till Marlon Humphrey made that interception in the fourth quarter. It was absolute cheeks. You're talking almost... What did Joe Burrow end up with? Almost 400 passing yards. Only 9 incompletions on the game. Once we got to that fourth quarter, how many consecutive passes had he completed? I know it was more than 10. I'm not sure where it finally ended at. Tremendous play by Marlon Humphrey to jump that slant, because they were just picking them apart. And folks, as thrilled as I am about the win, that is absolutely concerning going forward. I think a lot of people thought that this pass defense was fixed last week when they held Josh Allen to 180 passing yards. But I said before this game, this was a different monster on offense than what they saw against the Bills. That turned out to be completely true. The good news is you're not going to face Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins every single week. That's the good news. The running defense did its thing. I have no problem with the Ravens running defense. I thought the front four did a good job. It's the secondary. I don't know what it is, but they cannot seem to get it nailed down. Now, some of the plays were just tremendous throws and catches by Burrow and his receivers. But you can't tell me this dude throws for almost 400 yards, and that has nothing to do with the defensive play. There's so much going on with this defense. I can't even put my finger on it. I'm excited to go back and try to watch the film of this game and see exactly what went wrong, because the pass defense was absolute cheeks for most of this game. But I'm going to stop complaining about the defense because let's talk about Lamar Jackson and this offense in the second half. I don't want to hear a single person, one single critic say Lamar Jackson cannot win a game with his arm. Again, when they got to overtime, the announcers pointed out that Derrick Henry was held to, 11 carries, 30 yards, under 3 yards a carry. Lamar Jackson finished the game with almost 350 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. It was methodical in the second half. And I know you can make the same complaints about the Bengals defense. That's fine, but I'm not going to cover the Bengals defense. Lamar Jackson was absolutely on fire. And that is what you have to do. When a team, this is what I wanted to see out of this offense. When a team loads up to stop Derrick Henry and says, you are going to have to beat us through the air because we're not letting number 22 beat us. Can Lamar Jackson and these receivers be productive enough through the air? I know Lamar Jackson is surely capable. I've said that many times, but there's been many times he's been let down by his supporting cast. Today, they showed up, folks. Let me read you the receiving numbers here. Zay Flowers, have yourself a day, Zay. Right here, Zay. 7 catches, 111 yards. My guy absolutely torched that defense. Charlie Kohler, 3 catches, 64 yards, and a score. He was phenomenal. Let's be honest here, especially their first drive of the second half. That absolute bomb from Lamar Jackson. I could not have walked on the field and placed that ball in Charlie Kohler's hands any better. Tremendous pitch and catch from those guys. Rashad Bateman, a guy who I've had plenty of gripes about. I know Ravens Nation have had plenty of gripes about him. He played really well in this game as well, coming up with 4 catches, 58 yards, and a score himself. Mark Andrews, 4 catches, 55 yards. Tylan Wallace, a couple catches for 31 yards. Isaiah Likely, 3 catches, 13 yards, and 2 scores. None bigger than when Lamar Jackson was running for his life from Sam Hubbard, and he tossed it up to Isaiah Likely. Tremendous play on the scramble drill, and that is Lamar Jackson being almost just Superman. Even Sam Hubbard looked so just demoralized at the end of that play. Like, what else can I do? And that is what number 8 brings to the table. That is why I say he is the number 2 quarterback in the National Football League. And why the poll from the players, the top 100, he came in at number 1 preseason. But you'll never hear that on ESPN. Again, I don't want to hear any of these pundits say a word about Lamar Jackson. Talk about the pass defense, that's fine. We can talk about how poor they played and how pedestrian they looked. I remember at the end of the third quarter when Joe Burrow was slicing through that defense, they looked demoralized. They looked like we have absolutely no answer to this passing attack. Very concerning. But this will be Lamar Jackson didn't go back and stop Joe Burrow. He couldn't cover Jamar Chase probably. He couldn't rush Joe Burrow. So it's probably would be Lamar Jackson's fault. That's what I was thinking as they were just absolutely assaulting this defense. Was like, how's this going to get blamed on Lamar Jackson? And if they would have lost because of that fumble, oh my goodness. I don't even want to know what they would have been saying. That is the one thing that Lamar Jackson would definitely obviously want back. Thankfully, the defense stepped up and made a stop. I do question the Bengals play calling there. If I was the Bengals, if I was Zach Taylor, I would have tried to get a little closer. You torch this defense through most of the game. I would have tried to get at least close to 10 yards, 15 yards to make it a more manageable field goal. And of course, the bad snap is probably what led to that miss. And then Derrick Henry finally bust a big one to take it inside the 5. And Justin Tucker, my apologies to you. I doubted you through your struggles, and you came up as clutch as anyone in this game. So hats off to you, number 9. I apologize for doubting you, but absolutely amazing game. We're going to continue to get into cover it, cover the post-game interviews, and just, of course, the media reaction throughout the week. So if you are a Ravens fan and you're interested in hearing about what the players and the media are saying and all that, make sure you subscribe, like the video, because we're going to do deep dives into every single game and give you all that good stuff going forward. So I appreciate you tuning in. If you're still watching, leave a big thumbs up. Comment your thoughts about this game below. I need to know what you guys are thinking about this wild finish and this crazy game of the year, in my opinion. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all in the next video. Go Ravens.